Hi everybody. I've never done this before. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just somebody who enjoys drinking bourbon, and I felt compelled to upload this video because just over the weekend I found a bottle at my local store that was very interesting. I'd never seen before. And so before I grabbed it, I did a quick Google search. And while I saw a couple of Reddit threads talking about it, I saw literally 0 videos on YouTube. And so it got me curious. And so I grabbed the bottle, and now that I've had a chance to open it up and taste it, I wanted to share my experience with you in case you see this bottle near you. And honestly, once you see this bottle and learn about what it is, you are gonna wanna get one regardless of what I say on this video. But hopefully this is helpful. And that bottle is not what you see here, which is the standard Wild Turkey 101. It is Wild Turkey Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary release, aged 8 years. All right, so let's get to maybe the comparison of the two bottles, just from the aesthetics and the labeling and what's on the outside, and then we'll get to what's on the inside. All right, so on the left here, you see the standard 101 bottle. And as you can see, I've thoroughly enjoyed this bottle. And let's just start from the top. The cork cap is the same. I think, underneath this red sticker here is kind of the same turkey logo and some basic lettering. And then let's go to the neck here. The neck label on the regular bottle, you can see, there's some writing about crafted with conviction, distilled and bottled in Lawrenceburg. Has, I think, the year when the distillery maybe came to existence, 1855. Could be wrong though. And then on the new bottle, it's the same shade of yellow, red, but it's got this beautiful, gold, like Jimmy Russell signature, and then right underneath says 70th anniversary release. It's got the 2 years that mark the beginning and the end of his tenure. Not the end of tenure, he's still there, very much active, but he started his job with the distillery back in 1954, and now it is 2024, and it has been 70 years, which is pretty incredible. He is, I think, literally the oldest active master distiller in the industry as of now. And then we'll just move down to the body. So, they both have the embossed, the Wild Turkey logo front and center. Now, the standard bottle has this white background label underneath, which is it's with the black and red and a little bit of gold lettering. The ABV, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Master Distiller, Jimmy Russell. Now, what's interesting is that on this new bottle, and I shouldn't say new because it's not new. It's not a new bottle of the same model. It's actually a different release altogether. But on this one, they chose to go with just like kind of clean white lettering with a touch of gold, and it's got the signature again, Jimmy Russell, 70th anniversary release, and this one is age stated at 8 years. The standard one is not. It used to be a while back, and then they dropped the age statement, although on the back of the bottle it does talk about how it is aged up to 6 to 8 years in American oak barrels. So it is 6 to 8 years. This one is age stated, which makes me think, I think there's high chance that this juice is minimum 8 years, likely 8 to 9, maybe 9+ years. But if any of you know for sure, please, add a comment. Otherwise, the rest of the information is the same. They're both 101 proof, and they have the embossed, the bold, genuine, true, the 3 words, just like the regular bottle. Now, the other thing that I really love about this bottle is that they chose to go with they printed the lettering and all this stuff directly onto the glass bottle itself instead of using a sticker. You've probably seen that, like in most cases when distilleries use clear label, it's usually like clear back sticker. right? With the letters printed on the sticker that gets stuck on the glass. This is like really nicely printed, nice texture. Just gives off that like classier vibe, and kind of representative of like that high craftsmanship of Wild Turkey. Now, you spin it so you can take a look at the back. The back is, they did use the clear sticker for the back. But this information is like, you know, honestly, it's less, well, at least half of it is less, really less, you know, important. Copy that every bottle has to have, like the government warning and so forth. I do wish that there's the other half here, though. There's a paragraph that talks about the uniqueness of this bottle that I wish was like a little bit more legible. You know, there's a quote right there. You can see, when you enjoy something, you never work a day in your life. And, you know, this is apparently, I mean, it sounds like a quote that many people have said in the past, but, you know, in this case, something that Jimmy Russell has also said. So it's a quote from him. And, you know, it has a little paragraph that talks about like how they're commemorating his, you know, Jimmy Russell's 70-year journey with Wild Turkey. You know, we present this exclusive 8-year-old Wild Turkey bourbon at 101 proof, crafted precisely to Jimmy's liking. This release pays tribute to his unwavering dedication and enduring legacy as the longest tenured master distiller within the bourbon community. In 2024, we celebrate this milestone and Jimmy's unparalleled contributions to the industry. So, you know, but I think that this was done done intentionally. That, you know, they didn't want all that stuff in the back to compete with the letters and the things in the front. So I think they chose to keep the background dark, and that's why all the lettering on the back is black. So I think that was a conscious design choice, which I think I'm fine with this. And I do really like the look of it. It is very classy, clean. You know, the actual shape of the bottle is the same. But yeah, so let's get to now what is inside. For this, I actually got myself a little miniature, which tastes just as delicious. And now I'm going to pour myself some of each into these Glencairns. Oh, that was kind of a weak cork pop there, but you know. Okay, so I've got the two bourbons side by side. Now I want to say the color on they're very similar. The one on the right, the 70th anniversary release, looks just smidge darker, but honestly I think it could just be the lighting in here and the backdrop that's reflecting, you know, behind the glass and right against it. Like they're more or less the same in appearance. So I'm gonna take the first one and nose it a little bit. Get that classic turkey. A little bit of pepper. A little bit of savoriness. Fruit. Swirl this around a little bit more. Usually I like to nose any bourbon after it's been in the glass for a few minutes. I think it does change up the aromas noticeably, at least for me. If I just stick my nose right after I pour it into the glass, usually I get this like very astringent, you know, the alcohol notes. And as that mellows out, the bourbon sits in the glass, then I start to pick up on some of the other notes. So I'm going for the nose of the 70th release. So it is similar, obviously. It's gonna be similar to the regular juice. However, and you know, I'm trying not to be too you know, biased or like let my brain playing tricks on me just because it says it's, you know, it's age stated and it's like the special release. But the one thing that I noticed, which while most of the nose is similar, one thing I do notice is that in the 70th release bottle, there is this layer of rich caramel. It's like this caramel, like denser, richer, like stickier sweetness that I pick up on. Yeah. Going back to the regular wild turkey, it's brighter, still sweet and some oak, but more fruit, and I would say more sugar, honey, sweet, whereas the other one is that plus a little bit more caramel and kind of biscuity smell, if that makes sense. Molasses kind of sweet. Like brown sugar, it's just thicker, which is not, I know it's not a scent, but just, you know, reminds me of things that are a little bit thicker, like syrupier maybe. And now I'm going for a sip. Cheers. I'll start with the standard. Delicious. Like oak, a little bit of vanilla, that fruit comes through. It is, to me at least, it is kind of that, like, wild turkey always has that like a little bit of rough oakiness. Not in a bad way, it's just like oak, a little dry. I'm going for another sip. A little bit of that ethanol, a little bit of that yeast breadiness that I do enjoy. Okay, now I'm gonna try the 70th anniversary release. So I do notice the mouthfeel is slightly more viscous, a little bit thicker, and a little bit oilier, I want to say. Most of the notes I pick up are similar to the standard wild turkey. I want to say a little bit stronger vanilla. Take another sip. I feel like the oak, the sweetness oak, a little bit is, everything is a little bit stronger. I feel like, I would say it's nothing very like different or distinct from the regular wild turkey, to be honest. But I think like most notes are accentuated. It's a little bit elevated, a little bit richer, a little bit more dense. And I don't know if it's just the function of, you know, it being slightly older. I would think that, you know, going from 6 to 8 year old juice to 8 to maybe 9 plus I would think that would make a difference. Not significant, but noticeable. But yes, I got this to drink because I wanted to really, you know, try it for myself. And I do enjoy this quite a bit. I do appreciate the purpose behind this release, really to celebrate, you know, Jimmy Russell's career, decades-long career, which is really, really incredible. Think about today's world. I, for example, grew up in the Bay Area, California, and I am now at my, I think, 4th or 5th job at several companies, switching fields, industries, you know, roles from financial services to consulting to design to user research. And maybe that's just like a thing that happens maybe more at a faster pace or maybe more intensified for people who are in Silicon Valley. But I think as a generation, I'm in my early 40s now, and I feel like our concept of career is vastly different than our parents' generation, the folks who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and this idea of lifelong career at a single company and just dedicating your entire life to one cause, one mission. Like, you don't see that very often. So I appreciate that. So just for that reason alone, like, I would get this. And also, I hope it's not just where I live, because I know certain bottles can be very allocated in some areas. For example, I know where I live, like Buffalo Trace is like $21 a bottle. And surprisingly, I hear from people in other parts of the country where it's like harder to find or it's like much more expensive. But then there's certain bottles here that are just impossible to find and they're just marked up like crazy. And so this bottle, I believe the $52 is close to MSRP. Is I think is literally like the SRP, and so at that price, I'm happy to get this all day long. I'm hearing that just from browsing some of the Reddit thread that this is going to be wide release. It's not going to be allocated per Jimmy Russell's wishes. I think Jimmy and Wild Turkey wanted to make this a much broader release than their previous anniversary releases. I think last one was 10 years ago for the 60th anniversary, the Diamond release. And the one before that, I think, might have been the 50th. And both of those, I think, were pretty allocated. And especially the last one, the Diamond release, was a much older juice, like 13 to 15 year blend. And it was at a higher price point. And so I think they wanted to actually take a different direction this time to make it more affordable, widely distributed, more available. I also appreciate that. And so hopefully many of you find this in your local markets. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks.